Hey everyone, I'm Brandon Carr. You might know me as better as BC. I'm a former professional Siege player and currently the head coach for Dark Zero Esports. I'm all about the learning process of this game's evolution, and today I'm going to show you how to improve your Siege gameplay as part of AIM Lab's official partnership with Rainbow Six Siege. The challenges I faced in the game were mainly related to my inability to isolate and drill aspects of my gameplay. I had to put in a lot of time and just hope that through tons and tons of rounds, I would be able to get enough experience to get better at some aspect of my game. AIM Lab launched a series of training tasks and tools that incorporate weapon physics, player movements, and gray box versions of Siege maps, including Oregon and Clubhouse, with more maps to come in the future. By the way, you can now play any task in AIM Lab using the R4C assault rifle from Siege with corresponding weapon recoil. Let's take a look at the Siege tasks that are already available and what they are designed to improve. First task is detection shot. So you're going to have some small transparent targets spawn around within your field of view, and your goal is basically to just detect them and shoot them. So it kind of adds the element of being able to look for detail and some small changes while simultaneously reacting to them and actually shooting them before they disappear. This kind of works on our ability to just visually detect super small details. Let's say it's a guy hiding in a corner and we get a little piece of him that's shown, or it's a guy in a bullet hole or something like that. Siege is all about detail. It's super hard to see people in different rooms, and we're always so used to looking down our reticle that this teaches us to kind of pull back, open our eyes to our peripherals and look at the whole field of view, and to be able to detect visuals throughout that. The second task is C4 arcs. The idea here is just to learn the trajectory and the timing of C4s and how to follow their pathing and kind of lead the shot. We can see Hyper here. He's just going to try to shoot them before they explode. So every time he gets one, he scores. Every time he misses one and it explodes, then he loses points. Everybody knows how difficult it can be to defend your teammate planning with the C4s, so this is a great little task to kind of practice that. The one currently here at AIM Lab is outside Big Window in Oregon, but this would be a great task to construct on all sorts of types of maps. Planting and defending your planter or yourself is extremely common. The next task is siege capacity. There's going to be a bunch of colored targets that are going to spawn. They're going to only be there for a brief moment and then they're going to go away. When they come back, one of the targets is actually going to change color. What Hyper has to do is figure out which target actually changed color. And it's going to get progressively more difficult as he goes on. So you can see they spawn. He tries to memorize it real quick. It's part of his short-term working memory. And then they go away, and when they come back, he's going to guess which one changed. There's a lot of things on our screens that we are subconsciously retaining, but we're just not aware of it. There's different angles you can dive from. There's communication from your teammates. There's your teammates' positioning with your x-rays. There's things about where the opponents are standing or where they were. There might be a utility around you need to memorize or know that's standing for you to protect you. Maybe an ADS is protecting you or a Lucy's Banshee is protecting you. So this is a great task for Siege players to get accustomed with and start adding to the repertoire. The next task is siegeaudiospatial, and here Hyper is sitting in meeting on Oregon, and he has 4 targets that are spawning around him. One of the targets is going to randomly make a noise. Hyper has to figure out if it's the target in front of him, to the left or right of him, or the one behind him. While this is going on, he's going to be slightly moving and just listening to the small discrepancies of the sound. This is a pretty good task for Siege. As Siege players, we are extremely reliant on different audio cues and where people are coming from, whether they're breaching behind us or opening doors, on the floor above us. So we can never practice the ability to identify sound spatially. Okay, the 5th is siege entry. So while I'm going through the siege entry task on Oregon, my goal is to keep my crosshair at head height. Here's my first target, and this is about the height of someone's head if I was actually playing Oregon. And so what I want to do is when I'm running through, I want to keep it at head height level, and I don't want to walk with it down, so where I have to overcorrect and come back up. So if I aim down, I'm always going to have to come up. So that's one thing I want to prevent. The other thing is I want to make sure I don't overswing targets. So remember, we want to shoot one target at a time so we don't get penalized for it. So with this target here, I want to make sure I take it nice and slow, and I just isolate the individual fight. So an example of me maybe overswinging a target would be this situation. So there's multiple targets in this room. I want to make sure that if I'm shooting this target here in front of me, I show myself to it only, and I don't overdo it like this, and now I expose myself to these two over here. So the goal here is to go through here and practice being refined on our movement to isolate our 1v1s. All these targets are where I might expect an actual player to be in a normal game. I hope you enjoyed taking a deeper look at the siege entry task and how it can help you improve at Rainbow Six Siege. Keep up the grind, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for more Siege videos soon.